remain standing for parliamentary prayer.
Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness has appointed the offices of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society, good of all human lives upon it, and the just government of its people, we beseech you to look with your abundant favor upon us, your servants, whom you have entrusted with the performance of such important trust in this community. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we may treat and consider all matters that shall come under our attention and deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of this region and of those whose interests you have committed to us. Amen.
First item in the order paper, communication from the chair.
Good afternoon, honorable members. I welcome you to this sitting. I think it is one that you have been waiting for a very long time. So I commend your resilience and patience, and I congratulate you in advance for what you have been doing so that we can be here the way we are today. So I don't have much communications to make. I think we can proceed to the next item.
Second item in the order paper, consideration of the budget of the East African Community for the financial year 2020-2021 by way of motion.
Chairperson, Council of Ministers. Is the Council Chair around? Connected? Yes, I can see Council Chair. Council Chair, are you around? Are you connected? IT, the IT people, what's happening with the Kigali? Yes, Council Chair, please proceed.
Honorable Speaker, sir, I beg to move that this Assembly resolves inter-house of committee to debate and approve the proposal by the Council to the Ministers for the budget of the East African Community for the financial year 2020-2021.
Seconders, Honorable Ambassador Fatuma, Honorable Dr. Guijema, Honorable Rose Akor, Honorable Kasamba, and all members whose hands are raised.
Who are standing?
Okay.
Yes, we can raise our hands according to our rule. Now, Council Chair, please proceed and read the budget speech.
The theme of this budget, sir, is stimulating the economy to safeguard the livelihood, jobs, businesses, and industrial recovery. The budget estimates for the financial year 2020-2021 are being presented at the time when the COVID-19 pandemic has severely affected the lives and economies of all countries in the world, leading to the lockdown and the slowdown in economic activity. The impact of the pandemic in EAC partner states, though not yet assessed fully, is no doubt catastrophic. Economic performance and outlook. Mr. Speaker, sir, in 2019, real GDP in East African countries grew by 5.9% from 5.7% in 2018 and 5.6% in 2017, which is the highest growth among all regional economic communities in Africa. This was attributed to the increased private consumption, especially in service sectors, investment in infrastructure projects, and increased agricultural production because of a number of achievements by East Africa, EAC, and the EAC Customers Union, and common market pillars. In line with these trends, the growth trends, growth rates in the East African region 2020 is expected to experience a drop as a direct result of the global COVID-19 pandemic. In this regard, decisive measures are urgently needed to mitigate the economic losses, safeguard livelihoods, and promote economic growth. Mr. Speaker, sir, allow me to emphasize that this budget will complement other partner state efforts in collaborations with development partners to build regional economic recovery from COVID-19 disruption. Review of EAC program performance for the financial year 2019-2020. As honorable members recall, this August House approved a budget of USD 116,428,004 for the community for the financial year 2019-2020. The performance on implementation of the above priorities by the EAC organs and institutions, as well as the plans for the next financial year, is as follows. EAC Secretariat, Directorate of Customs, and under subheading implementation of the single customs territory. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Customs Union remains a cornerstone of EAC regional integration agenda. In this regard, we have continued to implement the single customs territory ACT through interconnectivity of customs systems and exchange of trade information that has been enhanced. The region has continued to operationalize the one-stop border post, or SBPs, Nimre stroke Eregu in Uganda stroke Southern Sudan border, and Tunduma, Tanzania stroke Zambian border were launched in the financial year 2019-2020. Further, the community is in the final stages of concluding a comprehensive review of the EAC Common External Tariff. So far, partner states have adopted a four-band structure, i.e. 0%, 10%, 25%, and rate above 25%. Partner states are yet to agree on the rate above 25%, as our partners states are in favor of 30%, while others prefer 35%. Mr. Speaker, sir, despite the above achievements, in the last quarter of the financial year, the region has experienced disruptions in the movement of cargo as a result of the outbreak of the coronavirus pandemic. Notwithstanding the measures put in place to contain the pandemic, partner states have ensured that borders remain open for smooth flow of goods, essential goods, particularly foodstuffs and medical supplies. Elimination of non-tariff barriers. Mr. Speaker, sir, efforts have been put in place to resolve the existing non-tariff barriers, NTBs, and encourage partner states to refrain from imposing new ones as per EAC Customs Union Protocol. For the period 2019-2020, a total of 16 NTBs were resolved among partner states. EAC Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprises, MSME, Trade Fair. Mr. Speaker, sir, the 20th EAC MSME Trade Fair, formerly known as Jua Kali Nguvu Kazi Exhibition, was successfully held in Kigali, Rwanda from 13th to 22nd December 2019. More than 1,000 exhibitors from East African partner states attended the trade fair. During the trade fair, the exhibitors, MSMEs, were trained through direct sponsorship sessions which cover different aspects of regional integration, including cross-border trade, Directorate of Planning, and tracking the implementation of EAC Common Market Protocol. Mr. Speaker, sir, the EAC Secretariat conducted the first formative evaluation of the implementation of EAC Common Market Protocol since its coming into force. Evaluation findings and recommendations will be used by the Council, the partner states, and other stakeholders in designing new implementation and pragmatic strategies and approaches for full implementation of the EAC Common Market Protocol. Cooperation in statistics, harmonization, and development. Mr. Speaker, sir, in March 2020, the technical and administrative staff of the 5 EAC World Bank Statistics Development and Harmonization regional projects started activities. In 2020-2021, the focus will be on IT infrastructure support to regional statistical training centers and preparation of regional guidelines for compilation of harmonization statistics in all statistical areas of the project focus. Implementation of payment and settlement systems in the region. Mr. Speaker, sir, in January 2020, the Sectoral Council of Finance and Economic Affairs, SCFEA, considered and approved a draft EAC banking certification policy, its implementation strategy and roadmap. SCFEA also considered and approved the draft EAC microfinance service policy and its implementation strategy and roadmap. It then considered and approved the revised draft EAC insurance bill. The SCFA further considered and approved the revised draft paper and the corresponding principles on extending pension coverage for the informal sector in EAC region. Directorate of Infrastructure, Road subsector. The Speaker, sir, the Secretariat has continued to coordinate the development of multinational road linking the partner states as updated below. Number 1, implementation of the 400-kilometer long multinational Kenya/Tanzania road, Malindi-Lungalunga and Tanga-Bagamoyo road is under tendering stage, following the two governments securing financing package of euros 375 million from the African Development Bank, FDB, and the European Union for the construction of the section of the road in Kenya and Tanzania, which is expected to commence in 2020. Number 2, construction of the multinational Tanzania/Burundi road, Kabingo-Kasulu-Manyovu, 260 kilometers in Tanzania, and Gitaza-Lumonge, 45 kilometers in Burundi, has commenced, following the Republic of Burundi and Tanzania securing financing amounting to 322 million 300,000 in the form of grants and loans from the FDB. Furthermore, FDB extended a grant to EAC amounting to 488,007 to undertake the design of one-stop border post at the Mugina-Manyovu border between Burundi and Tanzania, and 3, mobilize resources for construction of 92-kilometer Rusahunga-Rusumo road in Tanzania linking to 70 kilometers Kayonza-Kigali road in Rwanda is ongoing. Railways. The Speaker, sir, the implementation of the Northern Corridor and Central Corridor standard gauge railways in Kenya and Tanzania, respectively, is ongoing. Phase 2A from Nairobi to Naivasha was completed in September 2019 at a length of 120 kilometers, together with the dry port in Naivasha, completed in December 2019 and launched in March 2020. Likewise, substantive progress has been achieved in the construction of Phase 1 and 2, Dar es Salaam-Makutupora of the Central Corridor. In the financial year 2020-2021, the Secretariat will finalize the development of the principles of the harmonization of EAC legal and regulatory framework, which will ensure that there are seamless railway operations across the region, civil aviation and airports. The speakers, during their under review, the Secretariat coordinated the implementation of EAC seamless upper airspace project, and these include the harmonization of regulation, manuals of air navigation service operations, and development of common secondary surveillance radar SSR codes. The speakers, EAC partner states have committed to fully implement the Yamoussoukro decision as part of the common market and in line with the ongoing efforts of the African Union, AUSM, and the African Aviation Commission, AFCS, to establish and operationalize the Single African Air Transport Market, SAATM. During the period under review, the EAC Secretariat also coordinated the operationalization of the EAC Aeronautical and Maritime Search and Rescue Agreements and the development of EAC Agreement in handling aircraft accidents and incident investigation. The Speaker, sir, in the financial year 2020-2021, the civil aviation and airport subsector priorities will focus on implementation of EAC Seamless Upper Airspace Project 2017-2018 to 2021-2022 and on implementation strategies to reduce the current high cost of intra-EAC air tickets and air operations, including the harmonization of charges and taxes. Meteorology. The Speaker, sir, the EAC Secretariat, in collaboration with the World Meteorology Organization and the partner states, are expected to complete the implementation of the highway project with the support of the UK Department of International Development. The project aims at upgrading the early warning system for severe weather events on Lake Victoria Basin in order to increase the safety of life and reduce the damage to property caused by thunderstorms and strong winds generated over Lake Victoria. Communications. The Speaker, sir, in the communication sector, the Secretariat will continue to prioritize the harmonization of policies and full implementation of EAC roaming framework to support the common market provisions on a free movement of persons. Directorate productive sectors, agriculture and food security. The Speaker, sir, in the financial year 2020-2021, the community will focus on the following key agricultural sector priorities. 1. Support harmonization of regional agricultural policies, strategies, and legislation to spur agricultural transformation. And number 2, enhance agricultural productivity and competitiveness, food and nutrition security and safety, and youth empowerment in agricultural sector. And 3, to promote livestock and fisheries productivity and trade for sustainable livelihood. Industrialization and SMEs development. The Speaker, sir, take into account emerging developments such as fourth industrial revolution, biotechnology, oil and gas explorations, African Continental Free Trade Area, AfCFTA, and the importance of protecting nascent industries. The region has already embarked on preparation of a new EAC industrial policy strategy and action plan for the next 5 years, 2021-2026. The Speaker, sir, the EAC developed a competitive cotton, leather, automotive, fruit, and vegetable strategies. It also developed a pharmaceutical and extractive and mineral value chain strategies for the region. To support the implementation of the strategies, the region established public-private sector coordination platforms. The region will continue to develop the pharmaceutical sector and has identified products that can be procured locally. It has established a task force to oversee the procurement and is developing a pharmaceutical manufacturing bill. The region has also kicked off the process of developing fruits, vegetables, extractive and mineral value chain strategies. Energy. Mr. Speaker, sir, during the financial year 2019-2020, the EAC continued the implementation of priority energy projects from the region power system master plan. The installed capacity increased from 5,209.7 megawatts in 2018 to 5,857.9 megawatts by June 2019, hence adding 648.2 megawatts to the regional power network. The EAC Secretariat secured €3 million from FDB as a funding gap for the component of Burundi Interconnector. Construction of the 14 megawatts Kikagati Mulonga hydropower project continues. The Speaker, sir, this secretary together with the Center for Excellence of East African Center for Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency, EAC EEE, designed and secured funding for the tune of euro 5,902,894 for the project on energy efficient lighting and appliance for East Africa, for Eastern and Southern Africa, EELA. The implementation phase commenced in June 2019. The Speaker, sir, in the financial year 2020-2021, the energy sector will continue implementation priority projects from the Regional Power System Master Plan. It will also prepare for the 10th East African Petroleum Conference and Exhibition 2021, EAPCE 21, to be held in 2021, and will continue supporting the Center of Excellence for East African Center of Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency. Environmental and natural resources. The Speaker, sir, during the financial year 2019-2020, the EAC started implementation of 2 new projects with a tangible impact on livelihood of East African citizens, namely, number 1, the Intra-African, Caribbean, and Pacific countries Intra-ACP Global Climate Change Alliance plus GCCA program under EU support, and 2, conservation and management of natural capital in EAC program under USAID/Kenya East African support, tourism and wildlife development. The Speaker, sir, the priorities for tourism and wildlife sector for this financial year include 1, finalization of the protocol on tourism and wildlife management, 2, implementation of tourism recovery intervention, 3, finalization of the review of the classification criteria for tourism accommodation establishment. Number 4, continued implementation of the strategy to combat poaching and illegal trade and trafficking of wildlife and wildlife products. And 5, development of regional policy on wildlife conservation and management. Directorate of Social Sector, Culture and Sports. The Speaker, sir, the 4th edition of EAC Arts and Cultural Festival, Jama Fest, was successfully held in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, from 21st to 28th September 2019. The theme of the event was cultural diversity, a key driver for regional integration, economic growth, and promotion of tourism. Immigration subsector. The Speaker, sir, the regional EAC migration policy is being developed, and once adopted, it will, among other things, promote efficient, effective, and transparent e-migration services in the community and access to and protection of migration information. The draft policy will be presented for adoption by the Council in November 2020. Gender, community development, and civil society mobilization sector. The Speaker, sir, in collaboration with COMESA and ECOWAS, the community is implementing a project called 50 Million African Women Speaker Network Platform Project, funded by African Development Fund. The project funding was used to create partnerships with ICT companies and ICT regulatory authorities to mobilize support for the platform usage to build capacity for women in business groups, associations, etc. On the use of the platform, including the identification of mentors and professional network, education and training. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Technical Committee on Technical and Vocational Education and Training, TVET, met to finalize TVET harmonization strategy and align it with the African Union Continental TVET strategy. The Speaker, sir, The 2019 EAC writing competition was conducted successfully, and winners for both the national and regional levels determined. The regional awards shall be held during the next ordinary meeting of the Summit of the Heads of State. Political affairs, EAC Political Federation. Mr. Speaker, sir, interventions in the fiscal year will focus on the conclusion of national consultation of EAC Confederation and submission of the same to the Summit of the Heads of State for consideration and further direction. The community, in promoting democratization, will deploy electoral observer teams in scheduled elections in the United Republic of Tanzania and Republic of Uganda. The EAC Youth Ambassador platforms will continue to be supported to promote peer participation and the integration process. Peace and security. Mr. Speaker, sir, the community will strengthen the implementation of the early warning mechanism for more development of regional mediation capacity, upscale police cooperation, and strengthen border security. In undertaking these tasks, coordination and complementarity with the AU and other sub-regional organizations with the peace and security mandate will be given attention. Defense liaison sector. The Speaker, sir, during the year 2019-2020, defense liaison sector realized the following achievements. Number one, the organization and execution of the second EAC Armed Forces Civil Military Cooperation, CIMIC, Activities Week in Rwanda. And two, the organization and execution of the EAC Military Games and Cultural Events 2019 in Nairobi, Kenya. Number three, conduct of the Forum of EAC Counterterrorism Stakeholders to review the staffing component, zero draft SOPs, and budget to include options to East African Counterterrorism Center, EACTC. Number four, the execution of EAC Armed Forces Command Post exercise, Ushirikiano Imara 2019. And number five, to conduct of the Defense Expert Working Group meeting, DEWG, of the chief stroke instructors and head of writing teams of senior command and staff colleges, SCSC, to develop and harmonize subject stroke topics on emerging security threats to be taught at EAC Armed Forces, CSC. Cooperation in legal and judicial affairs. The Speaker, sir, in the coming month, consistent with the legislative calendar of the Council intends to introduce bills relating to the implementation of the protocol on the establishment of East African Monetary Union, particularly with regard to Article 21 thereof. In that context, work is on course for the bill of the financial services and another on matters of enforcement and compliance. Corporate communication and public affairs. The Speaker, sir, the priorities of this department are fourfold, namely, to finalize and launch the second EAC communication policy and strategy, enhance the popular participation of EAC citizens in the integration process through improved media relations and social media engagements, the finalization of EAC brand architecture strategy and the popularization of the new brand identity, and the production and distribution of infomercials in public education programs on integration. Resource mobilization. Mr. Speaker, sir, resource mobilization efforts were made in the financial year 2019-2020, which led to the signing of the financing agreements totaling to USD 170,244,372 from development partners, including African Development Bank, FDB, USAID, European Union, the Federal Republic of Germany, Swiss Development Agency, China, and the Green Revolution in Africa, AGRA. East African Legislative Assembly. The speakers, during the current financial year, the Assembly undertook significant activities. On the legislative front, this August House passed East African Community Supplementary Bill 2020. In the same vein, a number of bills have been referred to the relevant committees for scrutiny. The East African Community Competitive Amendment Bill 2020, the East African Community Pharmaceutical Bill 2020, the East African Community Customs Management Amendment Bill 2019, the East African Community Integrity and Anti-Corruption Bill 2019, and the Lake Victoria Basin Commission Bill 2019. The speakers, the Assembly adopted a number of recommendations and submitted to the Council of Ministers and the partner states. The recommendations are aimed at improving the overall performance of the community in the implementation of its integration agenda. In respect of representation, the Assembly carried out sensitization and outreach activities to assess partner states' implementation of Common Market Protocol in relation to cross-border trade in the EAC region in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. The Assembly also maintained excellent relations with the national assemblies of the partner states through participation and coordination of the meetings of EAC Speakers Bureau, exchange and attachment programs, and the 10th Inter-Parliamentary Games held in Kampala, Uganda. The speakers, with regard to the Assembly's plans for this financial year, financial provision have been made to enable it to discharge its legislative oversight and representation functions. East African Court of Justice. Mr. Speaker, the number of cases filed before the court increased rapidly, especially in the second half of the last financial year. The court's priority interventions in this financial year are to increase the number of cases concluded at the earliest possible time, enhance the skills of judges in staff delivery of justice, and conduct sensitization and awareness programs in the partner states and enhance collaboration with other regional and international courts. Lake Victoria Basin. The Speaker, for the financial year 2019-2020, RVBC put in place mechanism to deal with the main environmental stresses within basin, such as the adoption of cleaner production technologies by 120 enterprises. RVB also supported the Republic of Burundi to enhance flood and soil erosion control measures in the Republic of Rwanda in installing rainwater harvesting plastic tanks. The Speaker, as part of the effort to improve the livelihood of the 45 million people in the Lake Basin, RVB launched the Lake Victoria Basin Integrated Water Resource Management Program in February 2020, worth 31.9 million euros, with the support of the Federal Republic of Germany and the EU. Inter-University Council for East Africa. Mr. Speaker, the support from the development partners and timely contributions by a majority of the partner states, IUCA made significant achievements in the financial year 2019-2020, namely, number one, a scholarship scheme to support graduate studies in STEM for gifted young scholars in EAC to study in partner states and other than their own has been operationalized. 10 scholars from each partner states have been offered scholarships, and 56 of them commenced their studies this year. Number two, Regional Center of Excellence in Embedded and Mobile Systems, CENIT, has been enhanced in the financial 2019-2020 awarded 25 scholarships. Number three, capacity building programs for postgraduate supervisors and leadership programs for vice chancellors of members universities have been developed, and the first phase implemented. 50 postgraduate supervisors have been trained under the program. Number 4, subject benchmark for mathematics and at undergraduate, masters, and PhD levels have been completed. Number 5, under the staff mobility program, 39 scholars and researchers have been enabled to travel outside their home countries to offer their skills and expertise in other EAC partner states in teaching, research, and community activities, and hence contribute to operationalization of EAC Common Market Protocol. And lastly, number 6, all participating countries in EAC in East African Skills for Transformation Project, EST TRIP, have become effective, and 100 scholarships for studying in China in the next 5 years negotiated and implementation initiated. Lake Victoria Fisheries Organization, RVFO. Mr. Speaker, sir, RVFO continue with the implementation of 4 existing projects, commencement of 2 new projects, mobilization resources for 3 new projects, collaboration with FAO and several international universities in 3 capacity building programs. There also has been development of 2 new guidelines for harmonized resource management and review of the institutional and legal framework to provide for expanded scope and mandate of RLVFO following the amendment of the Convention in 2016. Mr. Speaker, sir, on capacity building, LVFO convened a training and sensitization workshop for the Republic of Burundi as a new member of the organization to build the capacity of 1, the competent authority in official controls regarding fish and fisheries products quality and safety, and 2, fisheries inspectors to understand the requirement on quality and safety of fish and fisheries products, and 3, fish traders to comply with the fish quality and safety standards. In addition, LVFO also trained 84 women and youth from the 4 LVFO partner states, that is Burundi, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, in Daga, into brackets Omena, fish post-harvest handling, trade, marketing, and enterprise budgeting. Mr. Speaker, sir, a lake-wide fish stock assessment was carried out in Lake Victoria through hydroacoustic survey in October 2019 and reported an overall increase of 21% in commercially important fish species compared to the previous year, 2018, which was from 2.21 to 2.68 million tons. Nilo perch increased by 48%, while Daga increased by 2%. The increase is attributed to enhanced enforcement operations by the partner states in the recent years. East African Kiswahili Commission. Mr. Speaker, sir, in 2019 to 2020 financial year, the East African Kiswahili Commission worked together with the governments and other key stakeholders to realize the following achievements. Number 1, completed capacity assessment of the development and use of the Kiswahili in partner states and published its findings and policy recommendations. Number 2, developed a draft EAC Kiswahili language policy and plan. And number 3, designed Kiswahili training programs in each partner state based on identified needs, strategic interests, and priorities as follows. A, Republic of Burundi, Kiswahili training for basic education teachers. B, Republic of Kenya, Kiswahili training for parliament. And C, Republic of Rwanda, Kiswahili training for trade and business. And D, Republic of Southern Sudan, Kiswahili training for secondary school teachers. And E, United Republic of Tanzania, training experts to teach Swahili to users of other languages. And F, Republic of Uganda, Kiswahili training for parliament. East African Science and Technology Commission. Mr. Speaker, sir, the notable achievement of EASTCO during the financial year 2019-2020 include the development of EAC regional policy for science, Technology and Innovation, STI, Intellectual Property, IP, and Regional Innovation led by Economy, Strategy, in the publication and launch of East African Journal of Science and Technology and Innovation, EAGSTI, and the development of the Regional Research and Development Agenda and Management Framework, development of research and technological organization database, holding first EAC Regional STI Conference, regional training on scientific writing for manuscripts and grant proposals, and conducting the East African Digital Health and Interoperability Assessment. Mr. Speaker, sir, building on the results achieved in the financial year 2019-2020, EST cooperative activities planned for implementation in the financial year 2020-2021 include dissemination of STI policy, IP policy, and regional innovation led by economy strategy, development of IC regional indigenous knowledge and technology strategy, and EAC regional innovation strategy, operationalization of East African Regional Collaboration Research Program with EAC Research Innovation Fund, and the publication of EAGSTI. East African Health Research Commission. Mr. Speaker, sir, during the financial year 2020-2021, the Commission will focus on the following key priorities. Number one, to strengthen young East African research scientists in research and ecosystem skills. Number two, to establish East African Health Cloud, EAHSC, interoperable health information systems that enable real-time capture, store, analysis, and retrieval of health data. And number three, to implement telemedicine, linking East African centers of excellence with other health and academic facilities across the EAC region. And number four, to operationalize East African cross-border health services in a pilot program. And number five, to hold the 8th East African Health and Scientific Conference that will reflect the implementation of Sustainable Development Goals, SDG number 3, in each East African partner state. East African Competition Authority. Mr. Speaker, sir, the EACA will undertake the following key intervention during the financial year 2020-2021. Number one, finalize the EAC Competition Amendment Bill 2019, an amendment to EAC Competition Regulation 2010. Number two, finalize on merger and acquisition regulations and guidelines to facilitate analysis of the merger transactions. Number three, development of regulation and guidelines in regard to restraints for enterprises. And number four, development of subsidy register and subsidy guidelines to address Part 5 of EAC Competition Act 2006. And number five, finalize EACA website. Number six, finalize on enforcement prioritization framework. And number seven, sensitize stakeholders on the benefits of the competition policy and law in the EAC region, among others. Audit opinion for the financial year 2018-2019. The Speaker, sir, I'm happy to report that as a result of enhanced internal controls and accountability across the organ institutions, the EAC Audit Commission issued an qualified into brackets clean audit report opinion to all organs and institutions of the community, as well as the projects and programs implemented for the financial year ended 30th June 2019. The Secretary General, as an accounting officer, has assured the Council of Ministers that this momentum will continue during this financial year and beyond. Supplementary budget for financial year 2019-2020. The Speaker, sir, in this part of the budget speech, the Council is seeking the approval by the Assembly of a supplementary budget totaling US $815,582 in order to accommodate activities implemented by IUCA. The activities are as follows. Number one, EAC/KFW scholarship program into brackets leadership to foster regional integration. Project for an amount $719,852. And two, support to conduct a study on enhancement of research management capacities for improved performance of higher education systems in EAC for the amount of $95,730. EAC budget for financial year 2020-2021. The Speaker, sir, the MTF for the financial year 2020-2021-2022-2023 has been prepared in line with the global and sector-specific priorities areas adopted by the 39th meeting of the Council of Ministers in November 2019 on recommendation of the pre-budget conference, various summit and council executives, and sectoral and departmental projection. Priority intervention for the year 2020-2021 budget. The Speaker, sir, during the year 2020-2021 budget, 2021, the community will focus on the following key priority programs. Number one, consolidation of the single customs territory, SCT, to cover all imports and intra-EAC traded goods, including agricultural and other widely consumed products. Number two, infrastructure development in the region. Number three, enhancing free movement of all factors of production in other areas of cooperation across the partner states as envisaged under the Common Market and Monetary Union Protocol. Number four, enhancement of the regional industrial development through investment in key priority sectors, skills development, technological advancement, and innovation to stimulate economic development. Number five, improvement of agricultural productivity, value addition, and facilitation of movement of agricultural goods to enhance food security in the region. Number six, promotion of regional peace, security, and good governance. And number seven, institutional transformation at the regional and the partner state level. Expected outcomes during financial year 2020-2021. The Speaker, sir, it's expected that the implementation of the above sector specific priority programs will result in the following outcome. Number one, consolidation of the single custom territory, SCT, which will enhance intra-EAC trade and lead further reduction in the time taken by travelers and trucks at the border and overall cost of doing business in the region. Number two, implementation of the programs under infrastructure will improve transport interlinkages, increase efficiency in the delivery of freight and passenger services, lower transport costs, ease movement of persons and goods, enhance regional trade. Number three, effective implementation of EAC Common Market Protocol will result in the realization of the accelerated economic growth and development of EAC region, particularly towards promotion of employment and improvement of standards of living and working conditions within the community. Number four, enhancement of the regional industrial development, agricultural value addition, skills development, technological advancement, and innovation will boost the regional export competitiveness for faster economic development. Number five, implementation of the roadmap to the EAC Monetary Union through harmonization of fiscal and monetary policies and establishment of requisite EMU institutions will facilitate economic integration for sustainable growth and development of the community. Number 6, promotion of regional peace, security, and good governance, and constitution making for EAC political confederation are critical for the attainment of stable and politically united East Africa, factors that will are necessary for the successful implementation of socio-economic programs to further support growth and development of EAC region. And number 7, the implementation of the envisaged institutional reforms will ensure that operational systems are fully streamlined to achieve the desired level of efficiency, accountability, and value for money. And number 8, the implementation of the cross-cutting projects and programs will complement those that are specific to the 4 pillars of EAC integration towards the realization of the community objectives, both in the short and medium term. Budget proposals and allocation to organs and institutions for financial year 2020-2021. The Speaker, sir, the Council submits a budget amounting to USD 97,669,708 for the financial year 2020-2021. Out of this amount, USD 55,698,916 or 7% will be contributed equally by partner states or raised as other internal revenues, and USD 41,970,702 or 43% is expected to be sought from the development partner. The budget is allocated to the organs and institutions of EAC as follows. Number 1, EAC Secretariat, USD 48,564,400. Number 2, EAC Legislative Assembly, USD 16,755,725. Number 3, East African Court of Justice, USD 3,970,406. And number 4, Lake Victoria Basin Commission, USD 8,380,057. And number 5, East African Science Technology Commission, USD 1,536,751. And East African Kiswahili Commission, 1,399,318. East African Health Commission, USD 1,879,600. East African Competition Authority, EACA, USD 1,128,240. And Inter-University Council for East Africa, USD 10,977,276. And the Victoria Fisheries Organization, USD 3,077,934. Mr. Speaker, sir, as you know, the budget delivers anticipated impact when the financial commitments are fully honored. As the Council of Ministers, we should commit to engage our partner states to meet our financial allocations on time as per the Financial Rules and Regulations 2012 to enable the EAC organs and institutions mentioned above to execute their mandate. Budget assumptions. Mr. Speaker, sir, the budget for financial year 2020-2021 has been developed taking into consideration the following key assumptions. Number one, continued and consolidated political support for EAC integration. Number two, availability of adequate financial resources and timely remittances. Number three, continued financial support from development partners. Number four, political stability and good governance. Number five, safe and stable security across the region. And number six, conducive microeconomic and business environment in the region. And lastly, number seven, success in the efforts to mitigate the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. Acknowledgements. The Speaker, sir, please join me in recognizing and appreciating the continued cooperation and support from both partners states and the following key development partners. Number one, African Development Bank. Number two, World Bank. Number three, United States of America and its agency USAID. Number four, European Union. Number five, United Nations Environmental Program, UNEP. Number six, Federal Republic of Germany through its agency GIZ and KfW. And number seven, Swedish International Development Agency, SIDA. And number eight, Alliance for Green Evolution in Africa, AGRA. And lastly, but not least, number nine, the People's Republic of China. The EAC looks forward to strengthening and expanding cooperation and collaboration with these development partners. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to move.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Council Chair. I think it is practically concise and on point. Now, the budget speech is referred to the Committee on General Purpose. Honorable members, you also remember that you have some other attachments. You already have financial statements for the financial year 2020-2021. You have revised estimates of expenditure 2019-2020. You also have estimates of expenditure for the financial year 2020-2021, and now you have the budget speech. So this gives you enough resources that you need for you to prepare when the time comes to debate the budget. I also understand that the Council is supposed to meet the Committee on General Purpose. May I request you, Honorable Council Chair, to try hard and make sure that all Council members are there to meet with the committee, because that is a meeting where you are going to try as much as possible to harmonize the position of the Council and the position of the committee. And that is what will make the rest of the work easy. And because some of the areas that you may need to revisit are the areas that you have not discussed at the level of the Council. So it is very important that the rest of the members of the Council also attend the meeting with the committee on Monday. Is that clear, Honorable Council? It's very important. Because if they are not around and you meet the committee, you will be in a situation where you may confront issues that you may not be able to decide alone. So please make sure that the rest of the members of the Council are also present.
Chair.
And on that note, Honorable members, for you to have time to go through the documents, I adjourn the House until Monday at 2:30. Monday will be 28th of September, 2:30 p.m.
Honorable Chair.
Who is that?
This is the SG.
Honorable SG. Okay, I had that. Okay. I can give you the floor. Where are you?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, proceed, Honorable SG.
Right Honorable Speaker, for the meeting with the Council of Ministers, I have already sent a letter to all the partner states forwarding the memo. However, it would be appropriate that you avail a document because we need to prepare for that meeting. So if we could have any document today, that would really help us work with the council prior to the meeting with the committee.
Yes, thank you very much, SG. Honorable Chair, General Purpose Committee, it's very important that the council has an advanced idea of what you wanted to discuss with them, so that they don't find themselves in a situation where they will have to demand more time. So please, immediately after adjournment, Council Chair, the Chair, Committee General Purpose, the Honorable SG, Honorable Council Chair, find a way to interact and harmonize that, so that you have a smooth meeting on Monday. So the House is adjourned until Monday.
Honorable Speaker, I beg your pardon.
Not for the card.